Okay, I had to restart the project on my end because there was something going on. Earlier, you can see the getters and actions or state was white and blank. So I figured just restart the project on my end. It should be good on your end. So let's just continue. Stores, let's create a location store. Name a location. And if I make it easier, we'll just go example store, copy it, and go to our current store, which is location, and paste it in here. Okay, and within here we also need axios. Okay, and right here we also need to import another library. Let's say that a store. Let's say use weather store as weather store, and from let's grab it from weather. Okay, and don't forget to change this. Let's say use location store and change this one to location. Okay, state. Let's change this, probably name it user location. Let's just set it to null. Getters. Let's set get user location. Don't forget passing state. Then return state user location. Okay. Now within actions, let's remove this one, async, and let's call it fetch location. Let's add a try and catch block. Right here, we just say const data await. Let's use axios.get. And here is what we need to pass in the URL from ipinfo.io. Let me go grab it. Okay, so this is the URL that you can use. And don't forget, this is your API key. Okay, so now that is done, we can just set weather store dot capture user location and pass in data.data.postal because earlier in the weather store we used the capture user location pass in zip code, and we can just pass in from here. That one's done. We can just set this user location equals to data.data. Okay, so let's also console.error. So it failed to fetch user location. Now that part is done. We'll go to components and create the weather card. Be sure to thank the person who made that weather card shareable. Before I show you where I grabbed my example from, I realized there was a minor mistake. Make sure this one is actually using use weather store. I believe earlier I used a user weather store and then did not change this. Sometimes that's when you copy and paste, you forgot to change these things. And don't forget, we also need import axios from, I don't really need that, from axios. Okay, and same as location. Don't forget to use weather store as weather store and use location store. And don't forget about this location, same as the file name. Okay, so now let me show you the example that I used. I do want to say thanks to this person for sharing this weather card. It looks really nice, clean. You can also use this website to check other examples. Okay, but for now I'm just going to use this one. Before we copy and paste the code, first we'll go here within the components folder, create a new file. We'll just name it weather card .vue. Okay, and don't forget about setup. We'll also add template. For now, let's just say hi. Okay, now you're probably curious about, okay, we add something in here. How do we make it show in our web page? Okay, so first let's do a build. It should give us a page. Just wait a second. Okay, I added something hello world. Where that is at I believe it's index page. Within here, if I delete that one, save it, you'll see it's just gone. Okay, how we can modify it? You see right here, it's pointed to pages index page.view. Let's just remove that and go to one. Let's see, this one should be components and weather card.view. Okay, so now let's go back here. It should say hi. All right. Now we'll add more things within our weather card component. Within setup, we import some computed. I'll explain why it is computed in a little bit. Okay. Sometimes we're just like not showing you correct color. You can just close it and reopen the project. Now we'll just import use location store from stores and location. And we'll also import use weather store from stores and weather. I'll close it and reopen it. All right, so let's continue. Let's just use constant weather. Let's say use weather store. Then we'll also say constant location equals to use location store. Now we'll make some calls. Constant weather info equals to computed. So what is computed? Computed is basically the information will update based on the underlying condition. If the value changed, it will automatically updates that. Okay, so we don't really call computed. Basically, we just return from the getter or setters. Functions will be something that we can call it. Then we'll just return weather dot get weather info. And then right here we'll also do location. Let's say get location info equals computed. Then we'll just return location get user location. Let's write this one too. Function weather icon, because later on we'll use the weather icon to show up right here. Okay, because there's a weather icon. Let's just passing icon basically is the thing that we'll pass it in later. And then we use the URL. This is the URL from Open Weather Map. 2x right here is basically is the larger icon. Then we'll also need a function current date. Constant, let's just name current, new date. Like I said, my way probably is not the best way to do it. And constant date, let's currently just grab the current date for now. Get date. Let's just return date. Okay, so now we have this. We can go and paste some of those templates into our component. So right here, we'll just go demo and code, and we'll just grab all these, and within template, we just paste it. Before we paste it, I do want to use QPage, and then we'll give it style. Let's say padding top. Let's give it 60 pixel. Class equals to and Q, PA, and B. So that's basically like padding all around. That's what PA, padding all. MD is medium. So now we have that. Let's just refresh it. Okay, it does not say hi anymore, right? Because we removed that. If we say hi again, it will show it up right here. So within QPage, how about let's add the weather card. We'll have our individual class, and let's say name it weather card. Let's give it the if. We need to make sure that we can grab the information from our API call first. It's type of weather info.main, and this one has to be not equals to on and then defined. We'll try to grab the info from weather info.main. If it's not defined, nothing will show up. And now at this point, we can use a class, and let's name it weather icon, and then we'll have image. The image is source. You see right here is basically like it's dynamic. It can be changed. We'll grab it from weather icon, the function that we called earlier. We'll grab the icon name from weather, and the first one, the icon. We also can give it like alternative description. That is weather info, the weather 0. Instead of icon, we use description. Okay, now we can just close it like this. After that, we can use, let's see. Here we have the weather info. We can just grab that in here. Okay, so let's take a look. Right now, it's not going to show anything. We need to look into this source and console to see why it's not showing up, because currently we cannot grab anything from our weather icon when we try to call the function. The red part right here, what we can do is just basically add a parentheses right here. Before we continue, we should also comment this part out and this part out, because currently we cannot grab anything for the weather icon, or it will not pass through here because we do not have the API inputted. So I'm going to input my own API, then we can continue from there. Before that, we should also change something here. I just deleted that part. We need to change that so when we load the application, we need to grab the user location. So how do we do that? Then we can do is, don't forget, is script setup. And within here, we can import unmounted. That's the lifecycle from Vue. Then import use location store. And we can constant location equals to use location store. Then within unmounted, in here we can just say location fetch location. So now I'll go put my API key in. So I put my API key in there. The reason why we can see it now is because the API call, I comment this part out. So if I uncomment this one, it should still work because it's grabbing the information from our weather info domain, and the information domain is valid. So we are passing through here. Let's do this way. You see that? You can say temperature is this and feels like, I believe it's all in Celsius. That's the metric that to go with. Okay, so that means it's working properly. Now we can also grab the image. Here is the image.